November 30th, 1861. Off the coast of Tenerife, the French corvette Alecton cuts through Atlantic waters. Then the lookout screams. Large body, partly submerged. The crew rushes to the rail. What they see shouldn't exist. A creature, massive, tentacles thick as ship masts writhing in the water. Eyes the size of dinner plates. Captain Frederick Bouillet knows the stories. Giant squid, sea monsters, myths, but this is real. Battle stations, he orders. We're taking it alive. Muskets fire. Harpoons launch. For 3 hours they fight. The creature barely notices. Dives. Resurfaces. Finally, they lasso a rope around its body. They pull. The weight is impossible. The rope cuts deep. The body tears in half. Only the tail comes aboard. 40 pounds of proof. But the rest? Gone. The crew stands in silence. Because they know what they almost caught. The Kraken. Was it real? Let's find out. The legend that wouldn't die. The Kraken. The name alone makes your skin crawl. This isn't folklore. This is fear. Raw. Ancient. The kind that kept sailors awake at night. The first written account comes from King Sverre of Norway in 1180. A massive sea creature, capable of pulling ships underwater. That's where it started. But it was Bishop Erik Pontoppidan in 1752 who made the Kraken famous. His book, The Natural History of Norway, described it in terrifying detail. Not just big, island-sized big. Fishermen told the same story across generations. You'd see land, where there shouldn't be land. You'd sail closer, then the island would move. That's when you'd see them. The tentacles, rising from foam, each one powerful enough to crush a ship's hull. Suckers the size of shields leaving circular scars on anything they touched. Here's what made it terrifying. The Kraken didn't rush in. Played first. The water would foam. Violent, then silence. Sailors knew what that meant. They were already dead. They just didn't realize it yet. One tentacle would touch the hull. Testing. Then another. And another. Until the ship was wrapped. Held. Crushed. Some accounts mention a beak. Hidden beneath the mass of tentacles. Sharp enough to slice through wood. Big enough to bite a man in half. But here's the interesting part. These weren't tavern tales from drunk sailors. Ship captains reported it. Naval officers. Men with reputations to protect. And they all swore it was real. The Alecton incident. Let's investigate the French corvette a little deeper. November 30th, 1861. The Alecton was a 570-ton paddle wheeler. Crew of 66. Heading to Cayenne when they spotted it. Captain Bouillet had heard the stories, but the scientific community called them myths. Here was his chance to prove them wrong. They fired muskets. The bullets did nothing to the creature's rubbery body. Estimated at 18 feet long, not counting the arms. The creature went under and then resurfaced. They finally got a rope around it. Started to haul. The weight was so great the rope cut through the body. They recovered only the tail. The encounter changed everything. Jules Verne read the reports. In 1870, he published 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. The giant squid attack on the Nautilus? Inspired by the Alecton. The creature moved from myth to maybe. But scientists needed more proof that could survive scrutiny. The science. In 2004, everything changed. Japanese researchers Tsunemi Kabatara and Kyoichi Mori published their study in the Proceedings of the Royal Society. The first photographs of a living giant squid in its natural habitat. They used sperm whales as guides. Sperm whales hunt giant squid. The researchers followed them 600 miles south of Tokyo. They dropped a baited camera line 900 meters deep. On September 30th, 2004, an 8-meter giant squid attacked the bait. Over 500 photographs captured. The squid's tentacle got caught. It fought for 4 hours before breaking free. The 5.5-meter tentacle remained. DNA confirmed. Architeuthis ducks. But here's what shocked researchers. The squid wasn't sluggish. It was aggressive. Fast. It attacked horizontally, not dangling like expected. The study concluded it was a much more active predator than previously suggested. The tentacles coiled into an irregular ball after striking. Like a python. This was a hunter. Then, in 2013, the genetics changed everything. A team led by Thomas Gilbert published in Proceedings of the Royal Society B. They analyzed mitochondrial genomes from 43 giant squid samples. Different oceans, different continents, Japan, Spain, Florida, South Africa. The results were stunning. Only one species exists worldwide, Architeuthis ducks. But the genetic diversity was exceptionally low, over 20 times lower than other squid populations. The mitochondrial genome differed in only 181 places across 20,000 base pairs, across 43 specimens from around the world. What does that mean? Giant squid breed globally. Any giant squid anywhere can mate with any other. They're highly migratory, possibly through drifting larvae dispersed by ocean currents. The low diversity suggests something else, a recent population expansion, or a selective sweep. Something happened in their evolutionary history. Between 30,000 and 700,000 years ago, the population exploded. Why? Some thought whaling, removing sperm whales, their only predator. But the timing doesn't match. This happened long before humans started whaling. Climate change? Ocean shifts? No one knows. Then, in 2020, researchers published the first draft genome in Gigascience. The genome size, 2.7 gigabases. Massive for an invertebrate. They found something troubling. High mercury concentrations in tissue samples. Flame-retardant chemicals in deep-sea specimens. Giant squid are bioaccumulators. Top of the food chain. Vulnerable to pollution we can't see. But here's where it gets really interesting. Sperm whales have circular scars. Sucker marks from battles. Marine biologists measured them. Some reach 10 centimeters across. For inches. The largest scientifically recorded giant squid measured 43 feet. But those scars? They suggest something bigger. Much bigger. What leaves a 4-inch sucker mark? The other giant. There's another creature. One even heavier. The colossal squid. Mesonychoteuthis hamiltoni. First described in 1925. Shorter than giant squid but more massive. The largest specimen weighed 495 kilograms. Over 1,000 pounds. It has hooks. Rotating hooks on its tentacles. Hooks that swivel and grab. It lives in Antarctic waters. Depths reaching 2,000 meters. For 100 years, scientists only knew it from dead specimens. Beach strandings. Fishing nets. Then on March 9, 2025, everything changed. Researchers aboard Schmidt Ocean Institute's Falker filmed a juvenile colossal squid alive. In its natural habitat, near the South Sandwich Islands. The 30-centimeter juvenile was transparent. Glass-like. It will lose that transparency as it matures, growing up to 7 meters long, weighing half a ton. Dr. Kat Bolstad, who verified the footage, said it perfectly. For 100 years, we have mainly encountered them as prey remains in whale and seabird stomachs. 2 species of enormous squid. Both real. Both documented. Both recently filmed alive for the first time. The ocean is deeper than Mount Everest is tall. We've explored 5% of it. That's it. In 1938, we found a coelacanth. A fish from the dinosaur age. We thought it was extinct for 65 million years. But there it was. Swimming. Alive. If a prehistoric fish can hide that long, what else is down there? The question. Scientists will tell you the Kraken is myth. Exaggeration. Sailors saw giant squid and fear amplified the rest. A 40-foot creature becomes 100 feet in memory. And maybe that's true. Fear changes perception. Darkness hides scale. The ocean distorts size. But then you read the accounts. Hundreds of them. Different centuries. Different oceans. All describing the same behavior. Tentacles wrapping ships. Creatures pulling boats under. The giant squid exists. Documented. Filmed. Studied at the genetic level. That's not debate. But the Kraken of legend? The island-sized monster? The ship destroyer? That's harder to answer. The legend started with something real. But the tale grew. Fear made it bigger. Darkness made it worse. The unknown made it immortal. Even Carl Linnaeus, father of modern taxonomy, included the Kraken in his 1735 classification. He believed it was real. In 1853, naturalist Japetus Steenstrup scientifically described the giant squid. We went from myth to science, from stories to genome sequences, from terror to data. But here's what we still don't know. Why is genetic diversity so low? What caused the population expansion? How do they communicate? How long do they live? What's their reproductive cycle? We have genome sequences, DNA analysis, behavioral studies, high-resolution footage, and we still barely understand them. The depths. So does the Kraken exist? Ask a marine biologist. They'll cite Architeuthis ducks, the 2004 photographs, the 2013 genetic breakthrough, the 2020 genome sequence, the 2025 colossal squid footage, decades of peer-reviewed proof. Ask an old sailor. They'll pause, look at the water, and stay silent. Because even with genome maps and deep-sea cameras, the giant squid remains one of Earth's most elusive creatures. The ocean covers 71% of our planet. We've explored 5%. That's it. The Kraken might be myth. Ancient sailors explaining the unexplainable. Or it might be real, hiding in trenches we've never reached, growing to sizes we haven't recorded. Next time you see the ocean, really look. Watch how quickly light vanishes, how blue becomes black just meters down. Something lives there, something massive, something ancient, something with mysteriously low genetic diversity that somehow thrives worldwide. After centuries of research, genome sequencing, and advanced technology, the ocean keeps its secrets. And maybe that's exactly how it should be.